Benefits. Imagine that there are lines here. Okay, we're going to identify the target audience, the difference between the target audience for Volvo and the target audience for Ferrari. We'll start with Volvo. Families. What is the main benefit for a Volvo? Safety. See, that's, if you ever need proof, if you're at a cocktail party and somebody says, I bet you that there is no mental map. They've been to my seminar and they said, this guy said that everybody had a mental map. And you get everybody at the cocktail party and you get them all like this and you say, okay, one word, what does Volvo stand for? And 79 or 100, somewhere between 79 and 100% will say, in unison, safety. And then you say, thank you very much and collect your money. That is definitive proof that you all have this in your mind. It's not on the sheet of paper. You couldn't have possibly known this unless it's in your head. So the Ferrari, 2. The benefits, I want 3. They all start with S, the word S. Status. Status is good. Yes, that's good. Another one. Speed, yes, one more. Speed, sex, status. Those are the 3. These are both cars, but they appeal to totally different people. Totally different values, totally different people, totally different needs, totally different everything. Here's the whole deal. So we said Volvo, target is families, benefits are safety, is safety. How much does a Volvo cost? About $40,000. Value equals benefits divided by cost. So now we have 2 parts of the equation, we have 3 parts of the equation. We know what the cost is, $40,000. Benefit is safety. For these people who are families, does this value equation work? Of course it does. Now we move over to the other side. Ferrari, remember the target? Rich old men. Remember the benefits? Sex, speed, and status. Cost $240,000. Those are the benefits. I'm going to repeat them. Status, speed, and sex. Cost $240,000. Is that a benefit to these people? Absolutely. Where else for $240,000 can you get these 3 things without going to jail? I mean, it's a fantastic value. Okay, so value equals benefits divided by the cost. This is what you need to do in your business. You need to think about it for the target audience. What are the benefits that your product survives or your service? What is the benefits that your product or service provides? How much does it cost? And how do they perceive it? So we always want to add value. You've probably heard that before. In the recession now, every company in the world is trying to figure out how to enhance their value equation. Most companies are doing it the easy way. Since this is math, the easy way to do this is what? Lower the cost. So that's what General Motors has tried to do for the last 18 years. They've tried to reduce their price so that their value equation works and they're going out of business. They're trying to enhance the value equation. There's another way to do this, a better way. Enhance the benefits. How do you do that? I'll give you an example. Apple Computer. Apple Computer came out with the iPod. I'm running out of room. Original iPod, iPod 1, cost $299. For $299, you got 1,000 songs, and it was a cool device, and nobody else had it. About a year later, they came out with Apple II. How much was the cost? $299. Kept the price. But they increased the value. Instead of 1,000 songs, now they gave you 5,000 songs. They also gave you being able to download movies, television shows and movies and everything else. Then a year later, they came out with iPod 3. Guess what the price was? $299. Same price, but huge more features. 10,000 songs. You could download every movie that ever been made. It cooks breakfast. It makes your bed. It ties your shoes. It does everything in the world you'd ever want anything to do, and all for $299. So what you need to always be thinking about is how can I increase the value equation for my product or service. How would you find out what things that are really important to people, how would you find out what these things are? Would you ever find out that laundry, free laundry, would be a major benefit to people? How could you find that out? How do you, yeah, you have to hang around with these people. You have to kind of infiltrate the customer base. And it's the same with every one of your businesses. You can't know your customers if you don't know what they think about and what they do. That's why the best people in business, Phil Knight knew his customers. Why did Phil Knight know his customers? He was one. He ran track. He's a very serious, professional, athletic person. Why does Steve Jobs know his customers? He is one. So the people who are the very, very best in their business either are the same as their customers, they have the same values as their customers, or they spend an enormous amount of time hanging around with them and they get to know the real nitty-gritty of what their customers are all about. The more you know about your customers, and I'm amazed. I've been doing this 5 years. I was amazed when I was in the big time world dealing with clients that paid us hundreds of thousands of dollars. They didn't know much about their clients. But I thought when I got down to the level of kind of family business and small business, people would be a lot better. They don't. They're not better. They're just the same. And they always come to me and they say, you know, I did this, and should I do it with, should score be at the top or down here, and should this be vertical or horizontal? I'd say, how do I know? I'm not your customer. Go ask your customer.